French leftist theater faces bankruptcy after opening its doors to 250 African migrants for a free show, and they refused to leave and remain in the building 5 weeks later. Was it worth it? Was the virtue signal worth it, guys? I hope it was for your sake. A theater in Paris, which is known for its radical shows and exhibitions, has been occupied by more than 250 African migrants after they were let in for a free event 5 weeks ago. The Gaite Lyrique, a theater in Paris, staged the conference entitled Reinventing the Welcome for Refugees in France on December 10th. It involved talks hosted by academics from top universities and Red Cross officials and saw activists welcome in the migrants. Well, why don't you send those activists and academics the bill if this is a problem now? But when the conference was finished, the migrants who may come from France's former West African colonies refused to leave the venue. Still occupied, the leftist theater now faces going out of business after weeks without revenue from ticket sales and has had to cancel all performances until at least January 24th. Oh, man. Are you regretting your decisions yet? Or are you going to take this virtue signal with you all the way to the bankruptcy line? Its management said that the statement last week that the number of people taking shelter in the theaters continue to increase and swell to around 300 people. The Sunday conditions are deteriorating day after day, and the teams are facing this situation alone. It said as it called for local authorities to find a housing solution for the occupiers. What the fuck are you talking about? They already have a housing solution. You guys. You love them so much, I'm sure you're more than happy to take care of them. Don't try to make them someone else's problem. You support this shit. Though this occupation is forced, it is unthinkable for Gaite Lyrique to throw these people out into the street in the middle of winter, the statement added. Their own bleeding hearts are going to be what bankrupts them, which I'm fine with. This really is just natural selection. Paris's socialist-led council, which owns the building, claims it looked for accommodation for the migrants, but none was available. What do you mean none? They're in a perfectly good accommodation now. It has been it's called for the government to deal with the problem, but President Macron's centrist cabinet is said to have ignored the request and is reluctant to get involved in the debacle. Yeah, you guys brought this upon yourself. You figure it out. The estimated cost of the cancellations of private and public events has been estimated at between 700,000 euros in direct losses. The theater's income model, which is 70% based on ticket sales and 30% on subsidies, has collapsed. Local businesses have also complained of losses due to the occupation. Maybe that's the French spelling, bistrot. Yeah. Let's do that. Next to the 19th century venue, a popular spot for theater goers to eat and drink before and after shows, has reported 30,000 euros in lost revenue so far. Yeah, because there's no theater goers and no show. They're ruining my business. Manager Elia, herself the daughter of an Algerian migrant, told the lies. You think it matters that you come from the same place as them? No, they don't give a shit. They hang around outside my terrace smoking joints and fighting among themselves. And not only do we no longer get theater goers because the theater is shut, but we don't get passersby either. They're being frightened away by all these young men. I love the wording there. Oh, the problem is young men. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. You really are gonna you're bending yourself into a pretzel to avoid pointing out the actual problem, aren't you? So, but since it's current year, so it's still perfectly fine to discriminate against men and white people. So you're allowed to say, oh, it's because they're men or white people. But that's it. That's all you're allowed to hate nowadays. Those 30-year-old, 15-year-olds. Yeah. Oh, man, you got these fuckers with gray hair. No, I'm 13, bruh. I'll swear. The migrants all claim to be under the age of 18, meaning they'll be considered unaccompanied minors and given the right to be housed and assisted by local authorities. But local officials have insisted they are adults and that most are known to the authorities and had been sleeping on the streets before entering the theater. This is an illegal occupation of the building by recognized migrants, the regional authorities said in December. The collective des Jeunesse du Parc de Belleville, my French is perfect, The group which organized the occupation slammed the age test as racist and expeditive. Oh. Named after the Paris park they previously occupied, the protest group described the theater occupation as a focal point for their anti-racist, anti-colonial struggle. Hey, the theater should be all in favor of that. Yeah, should be absolutely fine, man. They voted for this. Now, there have been daily demonstrations on the steps of the theater since the occupation began. Videos show huge crowds gathering at General Assemblies, which begin with drums being banged and slogans blared through megaphones as they block entry to the theater. Man, wouldn't you love to be someone who lives near this place? And every day, weeks on end, all day and all night, just shouting? France's Interior Minister Bruno Ratula who took on the role in September, vowed to crack down illegal migration. He took the role in September. But I bet his priorities aren't helping those that support this shit when they get a dose of karma. When they get what they've been supporting, don't help them. Let them deal with it. The French people want more order in the streets. So this guy is like the Little Caesars of France's interior. Order at the borders, he said at the time, denouncing what he called mass migration to the country. On November 1st, France reinforced its borders with six of its neighboring Schengen members. That makes sense. Belgium, Deutschland, Italy, Luxembourg, Spain, and Switzerland with increased checks. So much for freedom of movement. The controls were applied to travelers entering France via land, sea, and air routes from all 6 nations and will last until April 1st current year. But authorities have said they could be extended further. They will be. The French government statement declared the checks were introduced due to serious threats to public policy, public order, and internal security posed by high-level terrorist activities, criminal networks facilitating irregular migration and smuggling, and migration flows that risk infiltration by radicalized individuals. So pretty much entire radicalized immigration groups, huh? I mean, it's not just a few individuals, guys. Like this literally is an invasion to a pretty big degree.